So hey there, how are you doing? I'm just gonna be a real short video. I'm gonna take you all, as I'm starting to upload more, I'm gonna take you all through a moon cycle of what I typically do. So we basically, in less than an hour, we have a new moon coming up. Not so important to kind of really have everything together on the new moon. So generally, if you're unfamiliar with stuff, the time from the end of the full moon to the beginning of the new moon, that's a waning moon, and that's a time when we do sort of removal of wishes, removing wishes, like I don't want to be crappy with money anymore, that kind of stuff. And from the new moon to the full moon is waxing, and that's when we do accumulating, acquiring things, more wisdom, more understanding of the universe, more understanding of myself. So the new moon has about 3 days before the actual new moon, which is in less than an hour, like I said. Not so important to get everything together right at the right time. In fact, you typically tend to back off the 3 days before the new moon on not really doing so much focused magical work. Okay, so I'm gonna start using the word magic a lot. So let's get this straight with the whole like any sort of Christian. I am a hermetic Christian. I don't have problems with fundamental Christianity, although I do see it as fundamental. 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2. And as it stands, what they call the Bible has been edited. It's been edited into being what it's been. And you can look up Nicene Council on that. And I'm not going to talk a lot about that because I'm not like really a scientific kind of person, but there's a lot of the great secrets of what Christianity could be lies in Ethiopia, where they are more practitioners of Greek Orthodox, and sort of what when the Romans became Christian, and roughly, I think it's either 330 AD or 430 AD of when this Nicene Council existed, and there were all of these scripts, recollections of people that had experiences with God, and everybody had different versions of which is really what God is. And they wanted to cut it down of like, Christianity is this, God is this, which in the end is an insult to God. Okay? God is no one thing. God is not black or white. God is everything. So let's just get that out of the way with the whole word, the constant use of the word magic. The 7th and 8th books of Moses were eliminated from the Bible, which spoke highly of what is like Egyptian magic, basically. And we're not going to get into a whole thing with that either. So, magic, I forgot where I was talking about. We're talking about the new moon. 3 days before the new moon, we don't do so much magic. So we just kind of back off. That's like 3 days right before the winter solstice is kind of when nothing's happening. You know, there's a lot of 3-day things all around spirituality that have to do with this darkest moment. And that's expressed 12 times a year in the new moon. So during this time, and this is what I'm telling you to do now, is if you just have a piece of paper, that's cool. Write down what you want to do. Write down who you are. Write down what you want to be. Write down what amazing things. There's no limits to what you can do. And when I get back on tomorrow or the next day and I start telling you about what I'm doing, you can follow along with me or whatever. But just things that you want to see better about yourself. I want to be more amazing. I want to be more disciplined. I want to be more of a magical person. That's a good one. I want to be more of an aware spiritual person. I want to be more of an aware person, more of a well-rounded person that looks at everything, that's free of judgment, that understands everything and understands everybody's situation, that everybody's doing the best that they can. That is vision to have. So the moon, as it's going from new into full, the full moon is more of a thing that you want to have right on. So basically I'm saying just doesn't matter that the new moon is less than, it's 6:24 Pacific Standard Time is when, or 6:27 or something Pacific Standard Time is when the actual new moon is. So the new moon is like seeds in the ground, obviously, and kind of like when that starts coming up, that's kind of like when the germination happens and all that kind of stuff. Not so critical. You just want to get your stuff together, get your sort of what you're going to do together, and then after the new moon is when you start taking action, because you're following that process of growing. And of course, the full moon, having that and having your intention, if possible, your magic, having that apex exactly on the full moon, that's powerful. Not totally necessary, and that's just like seeing a flower come up. Obviously, there is a time when that flower is the most alive, right? When it's not quite everything that it can be, and then just over that, heading back the other direction, even though it's still beautiful, it's sort of starting to die, or not being the best that it can. So it's this accumulation of energy. So all you need to do at this time right now, and I'll get back with you tomorrow or the next day, make a list. Make a list and keep a list. And in the meantime, get a journal. You know, this is, I write in this all the time. All the time. Dreams. I've gotten now to where I kind of have a couple of journals, one that's specifically for dreams, one that's specifically for logging tarot cards. But at this time, new moon's coming up. I'm taking you through a full cycle of what I do from new moon to new moon. This is a great time to start fast. This is a great time to start new protocols in the nutrition world. Great time to start a fast. Great time to, I'm going to start something new. I'm going to, in the case of me, if you want to know what I'm going to do, I'm going to work on being like 90% ketonic vegan. 90% ketonic vegan. So, anyways, that's what's coming up. New moon. And it's not, the whole channel is not going to be about this. I'm going to be doing my typical recipe stuff. But as I said in the last video, this is going to be a big theme of what's going on in here more. Because I just can't live right. I just don't feel right just going, oh food, oh food, oh food. Because I ceilinged out on that shit. I done everything, been everywhere, and like when I really hit a place of where I was really happy with myself is when I became aware of myself emotionally, when I became aware of myself spiritually, of when I went, this life, this illusion is 2 steps in the marathon that's the spiritual life, of where I want to plug myself into like the deeper picture, which is the spiritual life. Because it just brings more happiness. It brings more peace because it's what's real. All right, it's Keyth, Bright Blessings, and as usual, over here is my website, my Bandcamp page, and over here is all of my songs and stuff. And, you know, if you feel inclined to buy a CD from me, as I said, please just, if you hate music, if you like my uploads, if you want to support me, if you want to support what's important to me, fucking click on one of my songs and fucking just go about your business. Just fucking register a view for me. That's all I ask. All right, Bright Blessings, it's Keyth. I'll see you later, and you have a beautiful time and a beautiful magical season coming up.